I'm the Commissar. We're watching Forged Alliance Forever, and you are going to get what you deserve, which, today, is a cast from me, the Commissar. But what about our players? Are they going to get their just desserts, or are they going to earn their victories? Let's find out. My loyal viewers, what have we here? Can this be a 3v3 ladder map gen? I assure you that yes it can. And as you know by now, that means we're going to have a hot team and a cold team. The hot team up here at the top right, the cold team down here at the bottom left. Let's meet the hot team first. In the rearguard position, which I imagine is going to be air, we have AlexVay, who is Cybran and 1049 rated. He's in Burgundy. Moving forward to the flank position, this is Sandman27. He is 1284 rated, the game's highest rated player. He's Seraphim, and he's in bright red. And last but not least for the hot team, this is CaptainWoopAss. That's a name and a half. He is 895 rated and Cybran. He's in orange. Is he going to live up to that name? Let's find out. And now for the code team, who are already arguing about the fact that this player has taken his hydro. I'll talk about that in just a minute, but first of all, let's meet them. Opening first air in the air position is Maxi360, who is UEF in and 1070 rated, and he's in dark blue. The person he's arguing with about the hydro, heading forward here, but there's his base in the background. This is Jackataj, who is 1162 rated, also UEF in baby blue. And last but not least, still in his base here, with no hydro, but neither did Maxi come to that. We have bayopello, who is 1066 rated, and Eon in mauve. Now, quick look at the map. There's a pond in the middle, there's reclaim scattered, not that great, but little bits of it here and there. Natural expansions here, 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 and here. And these first two seem fairly safe, but these two, especially this one, might be contested. Obviously, mirrored for the hot team up here. Now, this argument about the hydro is that as the air player, Maxi wanted a hydro, and so he asked for this one, which was the nearest one. However, that's literally right next to Jack's base, and for Jack not to take that would seem like madness. So, in Maxi's position, it would be correct to go for a no hydro build. However, as we can see from the chat, he was not happy about it, Jack saying it's the map, and he's not wrong. Meanwhile, though, there were these two naval wrecks in the middle pond, which I didn't mention yet, and we're only 3 minutes in, and CaptainWoopAss has already whooped the asses of both of these naval wrecks. He's going to reclaim this one easy peasy. You can see that Bale was going to try and get it, and he'll kill this engineer, I'm sure. But by the time he gets there, WoopAss will have eaten that naval wreck, and there will be nothing left for Bale. Excellent work from CaptainWoopAss. He's also been expanding rather faster than Bale. He's got all four of these mexes up here. Bale's only just completed those. Bale going into the water. Is he going to try and jump out and do some ambushing here? If he is, he'll need to scout, because he might not know. He does not know that SupCom is right here, and that would not be a fight he would win. So, what's the first air done for Maxi? I don't know yet, but he's got to go in for a transport. He's having power trouble because he's upgrading a mech at the same time as trying to build a transport and only 4 P-gens and no hydro. All of that is a terrible mistake, and this assistance is going to make it even worse. Look at that. That's not a good eco state to be in at 4 minutes into the game. Meanwhile, we have a bomber out from Sandman, which picks up this NG here, expanding for bayopello, denying this expansion for a while. That's great, because now if Bale wants that expansion, he's going to have to bring an NG all the way out here again, and that's going to be a bit of a bitch for him. So Bayo is in the water, but WhoopAss is going just to put a torpedo here, and that's going to force Bayo to back off. Wait, that can't be his eco. It's not. WhoopAss 2 has made an error. He's only built 4 pigeons in his base. 4 pigeons and no hydro wasn't enough to run even one factory, let alone the 4 that he's going for, plus trying to build a torp launcher. That bomber's still going at it. It's taken out of mechs here. And Bayo is just reclaiming that torp launcher, and because WhoopAss is so power stored, Bayo can reclaim it faster than WhoopAss can build it, which I find quite amusing. Meanwhile, Alex, he's brought his come out to this expansion, unlike Maxi, who's come forward, but he's also got a drop-off, and Alex has managed to drop this corner here. Now, this could be pretty nice if he can get a little sneaky base up here, nice amount of build power dropped. Is he going to remember it? Yes, he is. He starts with a point defense. Doesn't ring it. I think that's a mistake. He ought to have a template to ring that. Meanwhile, Bayo is winning the reclaim war on this torpedo launcher, and it's not going to go up. Very funny. And this bomber is still going at it. How many... Oh no, that's a new bomber. First one must have been shot down. But even so, it does mean that this expansion here is still unclaimed by Maxi. Whereas we have an NG building this one. Actually building it for the WhoopAss, not for Alex. But either way, Hot Team are getting this expansion and Cold Team are not getting this one. Attempt to raid by WhoopAss, but there's easily enough spam from Jack to stop it. And Jack's on the gun upgrade right here. Sandman also starts the gun upgrade, but Jack's going to finish his first. Bayo's still in the water here, having reclaimed that torpedo launcher. Sandman is sending a trickle of tanks here, and Maxi is currently winning this skirmish, but this might change as more tanks trickle in. Maxi's also trickling in tanks of his own, though. And I think that Maxi actually has more firepower here. Maxi's going to take this, but this raid from WhoopAss is going to get into Bayo's production. Has Bayo resolved his power problems? He has absolutely not. He is on like 45% there. That's pretty bad, and that's going to be a problem. Because look, he's got these T2 mexes that he's thrown up, but what's he going to do with them if he hasn't got the power? That allows WhoopAss to get a raid past and maybe damage Maxi's back base if he can get in it, because of course there's no land factory here, there's no defense. We'll check back on it in a moment. Meanwhile though, Maxi has been able to defend this expansion from the tanks of Sandman, or he would have if there'd been an expansion there. There still is no NG on the way. Where is the reclaim engineer? Where is the building engineer? And Sandman is raiding again. Well, WhoopAss still now has this all fully built, which is nice. Now, Bayo does pop out of the water. WhoopAss is locked to the spot on T2, but Sandman drops a little bomb on him, but this is going to be more of a threat to Bayo, this T1 point defense, which is ward, and he will be able to kill it if he overcharges it, but as we saw, he was horrifically stalling power. He doesn't have overcharge, so he's just going to be forced back to the water by a single T1 point defense. WhoopAss also asking for energy, and that is also a brutal power store because he's built a bit more power, but still nowhere near enough to do what he's trying to do. And his tanks have actually got in. Why have they stopped here? Just drive a tiny bit forward and kill this T2 mech, please, for the love of the Emperor, do this. This is why though he's worrying about microing over here, where Sandman's raid is coming into this expansion, and WhoopAss is helping out. Bayo had a little elaborate here, but it's easily caught by WhoopAss tanks. And Jack's also going for labs, but again, there's a big army here, that won't be any help. So, WhoopAss and Sandman have cleared this area, but Bayo is bringing in a reasonably sized army to help out. These tanks are still idle. This is why are they just sitting here? They could have killed a T2 mech and his energy storage, and probably another T2 mech by now, if he'd only tried. Please do something with them. This is why we can't have nice things. However, in comes Bayo's army. They risk being a little bit of a tricker. Maxi's putting up a point defense here so that the army can fall back, but luckily Sandman and WhoopAss weren't able, luckily for Cold Team, Sandman and WhoopAss weren't able to synchronize enough, and Bale's gonna clear Sandman and off this position. But these entries are now standing idle. They need to be coming forward. Look at this. How much reclaim is there? There's like 2,000 reclaim there. That's just something they could really do with. However, we are gonna have a look at Jack, who is charging in on WhoopAss expansion. We haven't really heard much from him yet, but now he's coming in with the gun, with a decent-sized army, and Alex is way out of position. He's forced to cancel the gun. And he runs away. He's probably going to be fine as long as he manages to run away from Jack before Jack can shoot him, but he is slightly in range of Jack. Blocking with these mantis might be a good call, actually. Yeah, look at that. Jack can't shoot him. And I think Alex is going to be able to kill these tanks and get away as long as he keeps moving. No, this is a mistake. He got either path found or blocked, I'm not quite sure, by this little canyon. And he is now being forced back into Jack's range, and there is now no way that he escapes Jack. He hasn't got the spam to support. And he's just taking damage for free against Jack's comm, who is completely uninjured. There's no way they're going to be able to snipe him out in time to save him. And Alex is into the red. Jack hasn't got comm priority on, which at this stage I would pick. But either way, he's going to shoot Alex. Alex running away. I would play the Hulk walking and maybe the video would go like do, boom. And it would be a bit of a bit of an anti-climax, maybe. Not for it's very much a climax for Alex because he's dead. Something autoerotic asphyxiation. No. Family channel. Anyway, Sandman is here with gun. WhoopAss is here with T2. There's going to be no traction for Bayo here. Bayo is going for the gun upgrades for Eon. He's got speed and he's getting range. But look at this. While this was happening, we have not really seen any work from this base that we saw Alex drop. But now there's an army coming out from it, and Jack's Tricker is not in a position to stop it. Look at this. Jack has a lot of spam in the area, but it is not grouped up. And the spam that Sandman has inherited from Alex is really going to be in a position to do something. This quadruple mex expansion in particular is going to be something he is going to be able to whack. Jack could do worse than have had point defenses at some of his expansions, or even at his main base if this raid continues. Do they actually know where it's coming from? They absolutely do. And Sandman is sticking around to A, bring these units in so that they're all functioning as a group, and B, finish off these mexes in this production. All of this is a good move, and I approve. And the raid moves on. But now we have to go in for the play-by-play as Jack is advancing on WhoopAss base at the front here. Now, where is WhoopAss? Well, he's over here, and he's got T2 on his comm, but Jack's got gun, and unless you've already built a decent T2 fortification, which around here WhoopAss has not, gun definitely beats T2. Jack's also got a bit of spam in defense, and we have got a little bit of units from Sandman coming in to help out, but this spam beats that spam, and this comm beats that comm. WhoopAss does have a T2 tank here, but I think that Jack definitely has the advantage. Meanwhile, the tanks from, well, Mantis technically, from Sandman are rushing in, and there is an attempt to put up point defense from Bayo here, but the Mantis are just running past before it's built, and Jack's base looks like it could be vulnerable. Has he got any defenses here? He's queued up tactical missile defense, but that's about it. And Bale's tanks have been left behind, path found on this mountain. Is there potential for Sandman to deal some damage here? Immediately a T1 point defense is filling up by the T2 engineers. That's the right call, because it goes up a lot faster and gives them time to put up more defenses. The units try to run by, but Jack brings in his tanks, and Maxie's comm also turns up, and everything is fine for Jack. And we are back to Jack and WhoopAss, who now have Bayo popping out of the water, who's got the gun upgrade. He's also got the extra range, but that isn't really important right now, because he's popped out at point blank range. Next to these guys, the point defense is not going up. And WhoopAss is taking quite the pounding from these two comms. Jack brings in his spam as well. And that is T2 point defense fire coming in from WhoopAss's turret back here. But that's not really enough to take out two comms of this toughness. And WhoopAss is down into the red. He flees into the water. Is he going to make it? Yes, he is, just about. But that's going to leave Jack and Bayo free to just saunter around and utterly smash the space. That radar will be a nice pickup if they take it. So, unfortunate situation there for Captain WhoopAss. And as if that weren't bad enough, Jack has actually expanded to this base out on the right where he killed Alex, which used to belong to WhoopAss, this base. However, Sandman has dropped engineers in and he's trying to reclaim it. He's reclaimed a couple of the mexes, but unfortunately he didn't get to the factory far enough, and this tank is going to finish it off. Probably. He is trying to reclaim the factory now, but the engineers are being picked apart a little bit at a time. A second tank comes out and the engineer goes down. Nice try though, and at least he's denied these mexes from Jack for just a little while. And we are back with the Code Team comms in the base of Captain WhoopAss. Who whoops the arse of he who whoops the arse? Well, it is these guys. They are whooping the arse of Captain WhoopAss. He's losing his base. He's losing his forward base. He's still got his base at the back there. He's lost his expansion. He's losing basically everything. Look, he's been reduced to just 17 mass, which at 15 minutes into the game is a pretty terrible state to be in. And Jack isn't even shooting this factory. He's reclaiming it. It is actually more efficient to shoot it and then reclaim it if you have the gun upgrade, but maybe Jack doesn't know that. Whereas if you don't have the gun upgrade, it's more efficient to reclaim it. And speaking of economic efficiency, do you remember that base at the left-hand side, that expansion that Code Team took so long taking? Well, finally, Maxie has taken it, and it is paying off. Look at the economic lead which Code Team have. They have absolutely jumped into the lead. Because they've got this expansion here. Well, they haven't got this expansion, but Hot Team haven't. They have got this expansion here. Hot Team have lost the forward base here, while Code Team have this one. So overall, Code Team just have the superior position. Economically, map control, everything. What are Hot Team gonna be able to do about it? It's a good question. Jack is coming forward. There are some rhinos here from WhoopAss, but I don't know if that's enough to take down a gun comm. This could change matters though. Do you see that scout plane flying over? Sandman has T3 air, and I am reasonably sure that there are no upgrades for T3 even started for anyone on Code Team yet. So that could be a real difference. Looks like Jack's seen the rhinos and he is pulling a bit back. But there's that T3 air. We have two whaler gunships, stealth gunships that Jack won't know are there until they take the pounce, as it were, on attack. Although he's now seen them shooting at his things. Jack is fleeing to the water, and that seems wise when there are these gunships coming for him. They open fire. And Jack is taking a pounding, but they're moving on. Jack's fleeing to the water. They recognise he'll get to the water. Where are they going? Before we find out where those whalers are going, though, have a look at this. On that right flank, where Jack took out the expansion that used to belong to WhoopAss, he's now just moved on through, and on top of that, we've got blazes that Bale's brought in to help out. And, well, Bale's actually holding back a bit, but I don't think Jack needs the support right now. He is going forward into this base, the base that was the first expansion for Alex, now in Sandman's control. As Jack's comm flees into the water, where are these whalers going? Well, Bale's forward base looks like it's under a bit of threat here. Quite a lot of Tech 2 mixes that can just be cleared up essentially for free here by these gunships. And that appears to be exactly what Sandman is trying to do. This T2 factory would also be a nice pickup if he could get it, but you know, every little helps. Was that a T3 mix? It might have been. No, I think it was only T2. There are a couple of inties coming in, but Maxi hasn't got enough to stop this. We are back to the tanks raiding in from Jack. Sandman has brought one of his whalers, and there isn't really much in the way of anti-air here, and most of it's T1, just a couple of mongoose in the way of T2. But this whaler is going to take quite some time to work through all of these units, and so Sandman might actually risk losing stuff here. Back to the gunship raid from Sandman as he brings in a third whaler. And we have a lot of flak coming in here from Bayo. He might have actually overbuilt the flak here, but it's probably going to do the job. The whalers are trying to take it out. There's only 2 left now. A couple of them escape, but with only a tiny bit of health. So Bale's defended against this base, but this base, all the mixers are dead, so good raid. Back to Jackataj attack. His mongoose are being picked off and Bale's blazers are following up, but it looks like the whalers are going to be in a position to defend. There's 2 firing on the attack now, and there's no anti-air in the mix. There's no T3 air from Cold Team. I think they will defend. That said, they might need a little more firepower in order to ensure that they don't lose stuff here. Meanwhile, despite the damage that he took from WhoopAss gunships, Jack has again come out of the water, intending, I assume, to apply pressure. There's not much left that he can really do here because he's already destroyed it all. And the bombers from Sandman might send him back into the water. Another gunship comes flying by. We saw this one in just a second ago as it attacked Bale's base. But what is Jack doing? And WhoopAss is sending a bunch of rhinos. Is Jack aware? He's aware. He's heading forward. But the rhinos open fire on him. And I do not think Jack is in a position to take that many rhinos when he's that heavily damaged, especially when he's also under bomber fire from Sandman. Jack is into the red. Was this enough of a mistake to kill him as the next bomb drops? Down to 2,000 hit points. 19, 18, 17... 1,500 hit points, but Jack is in the water. He makes it out, my word, but that was close. Is he coming out again? Utter madrad. Nope. He dips back in, and that is what he should be doing, isn't it? Very wise. Very wise. Back to Jack's raid. Sandman has put up some turrets here to defend against them coming down this way, but they've just gone around this way instead. So that's a bit of a problem for Sandman. However, he's getting more whalers out. He's got a few T1 tanks out as well, and they clear up the raid just in time. Still, a nice attack from Jack. Managed to take out several mixes here. Now, Jack might have been forced back into the water, but Bale's looking a lot healthier, and he is just popping out here. I think he's going to try and deny this this NG from getting any work done. Oh, but we're going to check back on him in a minute, because look at this. We have off fumes out from Sandman, who now has both T3 land and T3 air. And this is huge, because not a single person on Cold Team has any T3 whatsoever. So we've seen the whalers already getting work done. This could really make a huge difference. As we speak, Jack gets his first T3 HQ up, but could be too little too late. Ilshis from Sandman are swarming down on Bayo, and Bayo, like Jack, is gonna be forced back into the water. He takes an absolute pummeling from those Ilshis, but he's still in the yellow when he makes it to relative safety in the water. Meanwhile, this right-hand expansion has been changing hands more times than I can count. Sandman has sent his whalers to evict Jack over here, and he's gonna make it. Will Sandman be able to recolonize, though? That's the question. Meanwhile, do you remember the base at the bottom right corner that Alex dropped right at the start of the game? Jack's finally remembered it, and he has sent a decent-sized T2 army, which I think is going to have no trouble wiping all this out. In comes Jack with his army. And he's gonna kill it all. Boom. Now those whalers that we saw taking out the right-hand expansion are still up and running, and they are gonna be on a rampage by the looks of things. Let's see just how much damage Sandman can do with them. He did just pop out of the water here with a single Ophium, and most of this is actually T1 anti-air, but Bayo's comm is in position, and I'm sure an overcharge will take it out. Yes, it will. So how are those whalers doing? Well, those whalers are moving right on, and a line of T1 AA turrets are going up, but a couple of T1 AA turrets is not enough to stop a whaler. And anyway, these whalers, these 3 whalers more to the point, are on their way to find some juicier targets. What can they find? These mexes could be good pickups, and I know there's a lot of T1 anti-air there, but look how quickly it's dying, and Sandman agrees. These mexes are going to be good pickups. A whaler does go down, but is it worth it for the 944 reclaim, so that's like 1200-ish mass, I think. Maybe a bit more, I can't remember the cost of a whaler, but either way, they've taken out 4 T2 mexes, and there's still one carrying on. Though that's not going for any delicious targets at the moment, and Sandman has followed up his attack with a big chunk of Ilshis who will clean up in the whaler's wake. And what has Jack got to stop them? Because remember, Ilshis are tough. They're like T2.5 bots, and we did see Jack get T3, but that was some time ago. And he hasn't really been able to get much out yet. I say some time ago, not that long ago is what I meant, like the literal opposite. Oh man, I have a way with words, don't I? Anyway, in come these Ilshis from Sandman, and where is Jack's defense? He's stopped building T1 anti-air turrets and is now building T1 point defenses, but against this many Ilshis, that is not going to be an easy ask. And this could be some nice amounts of production for Jack being taken out by the Ilshis. And where's Jack's T3? Well, there it is. We have a Percy coming in from Jack. Here comes the Percy. It's got quite a large army to take on, but that's not going to stop him trying. However, with the support of the rest of his T2, it might be enough. And a Titan also coming in. Titans will also be pretty good against Ilshis. And the raid is going to be stopped, but still, nice work from Sandman nonetheless. And what on earth is this? This is a galactic colossus that Bayo has started building on just 59 eco. What a misplay. That would take ages, that would drain his eco. He's got stuff in the bank, but only because he's only building it with a single T3. I don't know how to say enough how much of a misplay I think that is. Meanwhile, we have a raid coming in from Maxi, whose name I forgot for a moment there. But this is mainly T1 with just a couple of T2 units, and Sandman's Ilshi should be more than enough to hold it back. And as if the Ilshis weren't enough, Sandman's got this T2 gun nano comm lying in wait, so this army is not really any sort of threat. Now Sandman does actually have a few Othiums here, but he's parked them. What does he... has he forgotten them? Oh, wrong team. What does he know he's up against? Well, he sees there's quite a lot here, and what he doesn't know is that this is basically all T1 anti-air. He could just drive in and smash that, no questions asked. but he isn't going to do that just yet by the looks of things. Meanwhile, Maxi has reached T3 air. Oh, Bale's going to push on the Othiums, and he gets in a nice overcharge, killing 2 of them. Ow, that was 4 Othiums lost to overcharge before Sandman reacted. That was painful. Oh, and meanwhile, CaptainWoopAss has started work on T2 Navy in the Central Pond. That's, my loyal viewers, that's certainly a choice that he is able to make. My word, my word. The remaining Othiums have been forced to the water by Bale's comm, but Sandman is trickling more in, and he is going to mass them under the water by the looks of things. So this could be an unpleasant surprise for Bale if enough of the Othiums mass up here. Sandman sending a few of the T1 and T2 raids out on the corners, and Jack's attempt to claim this area back has been taken out by a single rhino from WoopAss, which is quite fun. Oh, but what is this I see? Is that no fewer than 4 strats out from Sandman? He almost certainly has air superiority still. I see 1 ASF from Maxi. And look at that, there's like 7 or 8 in support from Sandman. So these strats are going to get work done. And it looks like, from their trajectory, that they're coming in for the air grid, which is the sensible thing to do. Hit the power generator, hit the HQ, and Maxi's ability to counter the air is going to be toast. And he's going for just that. Boom, look at that delicious explosion. They are flying on and not taking out the HQ, but how's Maxi's power? Well, he is draining power fast and he will need a PGen soon. Meanwhile, what are those strats up to? They head on to Maxi's expansion, and down goes his land HQ. Pop. Where are they heading next? That GC is half done after however many minutes of build. Are they gonna hit it? No, he's just going for the power here, which is not a bad choice to be honest. He's taken out 2 mexes and a lot of power, and Bayo is reduced to just 33 mass income. Where is your GC now? There are now a couple of ASFs out from Maxi, and they're doing the work as the strats come in for another pass. What are they going to be able to do in Jack space? Well, they drop their bombs. Ooh, but they're shot down before they're able to take out the HQ, and 1 bomb hit isn't enough to take out a T3 mechs. Still, great strat raid from Sandman. And while that's going on, WoopAss has got his first destroyer out, as more Othiums are indeed massing under the water. This destroyer is having a bit of an argument with a war, but it now comes round the headland and is able to open fire on the comm belonging to Bale, who on just 33 mass is building a Galactic Colossus. Let's not forget that. That's his choice, is all I can say about that. And let's take a moment to appreciate that there's like 5 obsidians here, but as the Othiums pop out of the water, all of this is T1 anti-air. These are going to mash. They are absolutely going to brutalize this space belonging to Bayo, which he had a bunch of T2 mexes there. Well, that's not going to last very long. Bayo is definitely going to be forced into retreat. Maxi brings in one of his broadswords to try and help out. Where's Sandman's air response? Well, I can see it on the way over there. This is a decent army coming in from Jack. But the Othiums have utterly crushed this production. Sandman's air comes in and it's going to shred the broadsword. I don't think Maxi's got enough to stop that. And the Othiums quite simply carry on. Meanwhile, we have a tactical missile bank from Sandman opening fire. And he's targeting these mexes in the expansion belonging to Maxi. The first volley takes out 1 mex. He could probably have done that with only 1 missile. But a second volley comes in soon. See, Bale's also got some mexes here. And the barrage continues. 2 mexes taken out. Is this going to be a third? No, that one just kills the reclaim there. Either way, he's got some damage done. back to the Ophiums belonging to... what's his face? Sandman, that's the name. They are charging into Bale's base. They have seen this GC because they've had the straps fly over it, they've scouted it, they must know that that's the thing to kill. However, they've stopped here and the bird power has been called away from the GC in order to build up point defences, and somehow this one broadsword is still alive, and these T1 point defences plus the broadsword have tickled the Ophiums to death. Isn't that absolutely insane? Meanwhile, Sandman's Ilshis are following up where his tactical missile barrage started, and is continuing, as we can see on the mini-map, but in they come, and I do not think that Cold Team has enough to defend here. This could be an avenue for Sandman to push in if he chooses. Indeed it is, they are coming in. Now, my loyal viewers, let us take a moment to appreciate this comeback. Look at the map control. It's like here. 10 minutes ago, Code Team were up here with their map control and had more eco. And now, the eco are almost level, and I suspect that's about to change soon if these Ilshis get any more done. Look at this is a huge horde of Ilshis. And everything is going their way. What an amazing comeback. Good use of engineers here from WhoopAss. He is sending in his NGs to reclaim the base that used to belong to bayopello. And he's not wrong to do it. Look, there's like 10,000 reclaim in this area. Picking that up will be absolutely delicious. On the left, the Ilshis are continuing their advance, but they haven't got any anti-air with them, and broadswords from Maxi are massing. Have we got an air response from Sandman yet? It'll take them a while to work through all these Ilshis, but work through them they will, because there's a long way before they actually hit any juicy targets like down here. Was that a tactical missile hit, or was that a strap bomb hit from earlier? Can't say. And I do want to note, speaking of air, look at Maxi's air grid. He's building it, can actually afford that power-wise. Well, only by leeching off his teammates, but he just about can. He's got 5 air factories here at the moment. One of them's idle and 3 are producing broadswords, but he's got 5 air factories there in his grid at T3. Sandman has only 2. So, though he has started work on a nuke launcher. However, the point is that Maxi's air grid is much better than Sandman, so when earlier Sandman had air control, that might be soon to change. Jack advancing with his T3 army here, and his comm still, who does have gun, nano and shield, with mobile shields supporting him, so that is pretty tanky. Meanwhile, we've got some naughty walkie going on here as WhoopAss Salems leave the pond and walk out towards Bale's base. Oh my, we're going to talk about this in just a minute, but the first thing I'd like to say is, what possible use does WhoopAss have for 2 T2 naval yards in a pond the size of a puddle of piss? That is my question to you, my loyal viewers. Are these Salems advancing though? I think they should, but anyway, this is what... Do you remember, about 10 minutes ago, I pointed out that bayopello had started a GC on like 50 eco, and it was going to take a long time. That was 10 minutes ago, and now bayopello has 13 eco, and that is not a mass door. He has just been crushed back so hard that he only has 13 eco remaining. Oop. We have an air fight being taken by Sandman, but Maxi retreats over this flak from Bale. He does lose a few broadswords, but Sandman loses a lot of ASFs in response, so thanks to this flak, that was a bit of a no-score draw there. Anyway, yes, with just 13 eco left, Bale is still working on the GC, and it is 87% done. That's utterly and completely crazy. The thing is, Hot Team have scouted this several times. They have seen it. There is no excuse for that GC still to be under construction. Like, is the tactical missile bank within range? It might be. No, it's not, but not by a long shot, so there are no chance. But anyway, look at this. That GC, I'm still laughing at that. But anyway, we have this advance here from Jack on the right-hand side. And this is all like T1 stuff here. Whereas this is Percy's and Titans. I know which side my money's on in this little conflict. But we have a bunch of whalers lying in wait from Sandman. I think they need to come out and get defending. And in they come. And Bayo finishes the GC. I am just in shock that this GC was allowed to finish, and he just spent so much time building it. He could have built an army in that time and actually, you know, done damage with it. But we'll come back to this GC in a bit. Right now, what we're most interested in is this push from Jack, which has smashed into the expansion that used to be Alex's first expansion. Now, of course, it's Sandman's. He's putting up point defenses, but this feels like pissing into a storm right here, because look at this horde of T3 units, and it's got multiple Cougar T3 anti-air tanks in here. So the gunships will have a hard time working through it. They'd probably lose at least half, even if they focus down the anti-air first. One brick is coming in from Sandman, but it still feels like a hard ask. The GC stalking forward still. It's under fire from a couple of Salems. In fact, there's quite a lot of Salems here. But if it gets close, you know what's going to happen. Meanwhile, this expansion is going down. But now the AA is dead, and these whalers can just unleash havoc on Jack's army. He's falling back. I don't think this is going to survive. There are bricks from WhoopAss. There are Otheums from Sandman. There are these gunships. This army did work. It cleared this base. That's not to be sniffed at, but it's now toast. Meanwhile, though, the GC is in the water, and it's smashing the Salems. It's smashing the cruisers. Its head just sticks out of this shallow pond, and it can literally just stomp its way in and blow apart all of this ridiculously expensive naval production from WhoopAss. Gunships trying to arrive in support from Maxi, but there's still some cruisers over here that are going to be able to deal with that. As we can see from this angle, WhoopAss head is underwater. And there's a lot of T2 Navy firing on the GC, but the GC has a lot of hit points, and as soon as it gets even slightly close to the Navy, that's all going down. Look at that. This is madness. How did they not see and stop this GC? Oh, well, they saw it because we saw the strats fly over it, we saw the scouts fly over it. How did they not notice this GC? They had the lead in everything, and now we have the armies from Bayo and Jack coming in to support the GC. There is gunship resistance from Sandman, but Bayo's brought an immense amount of flak, and that will definitely see to the gunships. Hillships are just toast under the GC's giant laser face. And forward it comes. I mean, look at that. Clear path into the enemy base. You've heard of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Well, this, my loyal viewers, looks like it's snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. What on earth are Hot Team going to do about this GC walking into their base? It's crushed this expansion, and thanks to Jack crushing this expansion, Cold Team have the eco lead again. They have the map control again. And they have a clear path to walk an experimental unit into WhoopAss base. This is absolutely insane. This is another occasion of my favourite little catchphrase that I've been saying to you. Games are not won by the winners at this level. And by this level, I mean anything less than pro level. They're lost by the losers. A couple of strats from WhoopAss, a vast wave of Corsairs from Sandman. But this flak and these T3 anti-air Cougars are going to see to it And sure, the GC is on half health, but half health is still a lot. Quick check over here to see WhoopAss coming under the torpedo bomber fire. He might be forced out of the water though. There's nothing really left to catch him. Maybe these gunships? But look at this. Where's WhoopAss base? He's got 7 mechs left because he had like 4 mechs here. He had 4 mechs up front. They're all dead. The GC has smacked them. The GC also gets into his power production. Air! Exclaims CaptainWoopAss. And I mean, he's not wrong, but what's it going to do at this stage? And especially when there's this many Cougar flak tanks and anti-air tanks blasting away at them. And WhoopAss has been absolutely arse-whooped. He has nothing. Okay, I do tell a lie. He has 1 T2 mechs like here. But the GC is scratched them. He's very keen on the capstock here, is CaptainWoopAss. And the GC is just jumping around clearing everything up. It waits a little bit while the flak comes in behind, and then Sandman's broadswords aren't going to be able to do anything. GG, says WhoopAss, and I mean, yeah, he's not wrong. What's he going to do about this? Now, we do have a nuke launcher finished for Sandman, but that's not going to load in time, and anyway, all his assistance is on this Monkey Lord. Now, a GC beats a Monkey Lord unless the Monkey is very well microed, but this might be his last best hope to save his base from the GC. He finishes the Monkey Lord and it rushes forward. But it's rushing the wrong way. It needs to come this way because this is where the GC is heading to Sandman's main base. Remember, this was originally Alex's base. And Sandman could be about to lose everything before the Monkey Lord catches up. His mechs are going down. The HQ would be a nice pick. But at the moment, the GC mainly cares about mexes. WhoopAss resigns as the GC is stomping around and the Monkey's still all the way over here, shooting at a wall. Nice work, Mr. Monkey Lord. Let's just take a moment to laugh at that. But this is where we've got to look. Because the GC has gone around this base, crushing all of it, it's actually left the HQ alive. But what does that matter when Hot Team now have twice Cold Team's eco, they have all the map control, they have all the production, and Sandman resigns, and what a completely insane game that was. Just desserts indeed. Hot Team had no excuse for seeing that GC and letting it be slowly built on 13 eco for 10 minutes before eventually it finished and stomped through their base. Completely wild. Tell me what you thought in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. I'm the Commissar. I will see you next time.